I had always thought of Marcus as my closest friend. We met in first-year university and shared everything: classes, parties, and even dorm secrets. But I started noticing subtle changes during our third year. Friends I had trusted since childhood suddenly seemed distant. Texts stopped coming, invitations mysteriously disappeared, and every time I reached out, Marcus was conveniently busy or already hanging out with them. It wasn't blatant at first, just small comments that stung more than I could admit. "Oh, we were planning this earlier, didn't you know?" Or "You wouldn't be interested anyway." Every time, I shrugged it off, thinking maybe I was overreacting. Then, one evening at a group study session, I overheard him subtly sowing discord. He whispered to one of my other friends, "I think Naomi's being distant. Maybe she doesn't really care about you guys." My chest tightened. That's when I realized Marcus was deliberately isolating me, trying to steal my social circle. The following weeks were a whirlwind of confusion and betrayal. I noticed friends hesitating around me, conversations cutting off when Marcus entered. He would invite me to gatherings but exclude me in subtle ways, claiming space was limited, pretending I didn't RSVP, or making jokes at my expense that masked themselves as humor. I began documenting everything. Texts, screenshots, social media posts, little patterns emerged. Marcus wasn't just being careless. He was actively trying to manipulate my friends against me. The emotional toll was crushing. I felt paranoid and isolated, questioning every interaction, but deep down I knew I couldn't confront him without evidence. And that's when the idea hit me, a friendship loyalty test, disguised as a casual social experiment, to expose his schemes once and for all. I spent a week planning every detail. I created a fake social event, a loyalty challenge for our friend group. The idea was simple. If Marcus truly valued our friendship, he would behave differently when everyone's actions were transparent. I told everyone it was a fun group activity, nothing suspicious. Only Marcus didn't know it was a trap. I also created fake social media posts, subtle hints about insider gossip, and accidental messages implying others were choosing sides. Each element was designed to provoke him to reveal his true intentions. Meanwhile, I collected all prior evidence of his manipulations. Texts where he lied about me, social invitations he blocked, and messages to friends undermining me, all meticulously organized. I printed some, kept screenshots of others, and prepared them for presentation if needed. The day of the friendship test, Marcus arrived confident, expecting to manipulate yet again. I welcomed him warmly, but inside, I was ready. The challenge began with simple tasks: cooperative games, questions about trust, and challenges where participants had to act honestly. At first he played along, masking his manipulative behavior, but I had planted subtle temptations, opportunities to isolate me or claim others were disloyal. He couldn't resist. Within the first half hour, his reactions were telling: side conversations, smirks, and whispered suggestions to create doubt about my loyalty. My friends, unaware of the setup, began noticing his subtle manipulations. Whispers of confusion started circulating. The tension in the room was palpable. Halfway through, I introduced proof elements. Fake texts and social media messages appeared on a screen, implying that some friends had chosen sides. I watched Marcus fidget, knowing his confidence was cracking. When a friend questioned him directly, "Marcus, did you say Naomi doesn't care about us?" he stammered, trying to spin a story. I interjected calmly, "Actually, we have these messages showing your suggestion exactly." The room fell silent. The first wave of exposure was small but impactful. Friends were confused, Marcus was flustered, and my confidence grew. The tension escalated in real time, creating a suspenseful moment perfect for narration. The climax came during the final challenge, where participants had to declare openly who they trusted and why. I projected all evidence: screenshots, timestamps, messages, and prior manipulations. Marcus froze. He attempted excuses, but the facts were undeniable. Friends whispered to each other, realizing how much he had schemed behind the scenes. Some laughed nervously, others shook their heads in disbelief. The room was electric. Marcus's confidence crumbled as everyone saw his true colors. He had tried to isolate me socially, but the strategy had backfired spectacularly. My other friends rallied, expressing shock and disappointment at his betrayal. After the event, the ripple effects were immediate. Marcus's attempts to rebuild trust failed. Friends stopped confiding in him, social invitations disappeared, and he became socially ostracized. I felt a mixture of relief and satisfaction. Years of manipulation had been undone. But there was also introspection. Revenge, even clever, carries weight. I reflected on whether my plan had gone too far. Could I have achieved the same justice without orchestrating such a public exposure? Ultimately, I concluded that sometimes, public accountability is necessary when betrayal is hidden for too long. Weeks later, Marcus approached me privately. He apologized, embarrassed and cautious. I nodded silently, accepting the apology but aware the lesson had been learned. I had reclaimed my social circle, demonstrated justice through clever strategy, and reinforced the importance of vigilance in friendships. The ordeal taught me patience, observation, and the value of evidence over emotion. For anyone watching this unfold, betrayal can hide in subtle ways, but careful strategy, patience, and courage can turn the tables completely. Justice is never instant, but well-planned and undeniable.
Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this, go watch the one on the left and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more tales of triumph over injustice and a saga of ultimate revenge.